Welcome, everybody. The 2023 NFL Draft is over, but it's never too early to look ahead to the 2024 NFL Draft. I'm Joe with the Game House, and today we're taking a look at the 2024 NFL Draft prospect watch list for running backs. The running backs are up in our NFL Draft prospect watch list series here. Remember, these are not ranked in order of this is running back 1, 2, 3, or 4. This is more of a list of players to watch for the upcoming 2023 college football season as they get ready, and some of these guys will be in the 2024 NFL Draft. So just kind of guys to keep an eye on for this year. So it's going to be alphabetical order for the first part, and then the second part we have some more players maybe tune into, maybe on a lesser scale. But let's get it started. We're going to start with Braylon Allen, the running back out of Wisconsin. He's kind of the next up in the great line of Wisconsin running backs. Rushed for 1,268 yards as a freshman and 12 touchdowns. 1,242 rushing yards and 11 touchdowns last year. Now Luke Fickell comes in, probably a little bit different of an offense, but it's always good to have this big running back like Braylon Allen come in. 6'2", 238 pounds. Great power and contact balance, and he also has solid speed for his size. I don't think he has great elusiveness, though, or receiving ability, which might hurt him too, but a guy who could be I think a very good workhorse back in the NFL because of his size. Next up, we have Blake Corum out of Michigan. Now, his end of the season, he ended in injury, so he just kind of was probably going to go pro, then decided to come back. Maybe NIL helps with that. Maybe Michigan possibly being another title contender helps with that again after they've made 2 straight college football playoffs. That could help too. But he's been good. He's improved every season, going from 74 rushing yards, 952 rushing yards, to 1,463 rushing yards through his 3 seasons. They really leaned on that running game at Michigan last year, and he helped them make their second straight college football playoff, even if he did get hurt in the last couple weeks of the season and Donovan Edwards had to take over, which we're going to get Donovan Edwards here in a second as well. So he's going to have to show this year he's recovered from his torn ACL and can still have those quick cuts. Yes, ACLs aren't as big of an injury as they used to be, but they're still big injuries. He's got the ability to run through the tackles, but he has those I think the quickness to bounce things outside and maximize his yardage. He hasn't proven to be a great receiver and could have better breakaway speed, which again could limit him in the end. Getting to his teammate Donovan Edwards out of Michigan as well. So he was injured to start last season. It was supposed to be maybe more of an, at least in my opinion, I don't know, maybe someone else could tell me I'm wrong. It was supposed to be more of like a 50-50 split, or at least Corum wouldn't have been the go-to guy with the Heisman hype that he had if Edwards was healthy. But Corum got off to a really good start, and Edwards had to come in at the end and help the team out when Corum went down. 991 rushing yards in 2022. He had a lot of big runs against Ohio State that helped seal that game. I think he's the most talented running back on this roster. Corum is good, don't get me wrong, very good. But Edwards came in as an elite prospect. When he got his chance this year, he really did shine through. I think he has a little bit of everything else that you want in a running back. So he's got the solid size, he's got breakaway speed, receiving ability. Home run threat was obvious with how he played against Ohio State. He's not the most creative runner, and he needs to show he can carry a workload. I'm not sure that's really possible because of Corum coming back, but I think he could be a very good running back in today's NFL. Their rivals, Ohio State, have a running back as well who's going to be pretty good. TreVeyon Henderson did not have his best season last year, so there are some different things going on here we're going to get to in a second. Over his first 2 seasons, 1,819 rushing yards, 340 receiving yards, 26 total touchdowns. Helped Ohio State win the Rose Bowl, get to the college football playoff this past season. He's quick, patient runner, solid build to run between the tackles. He was a very highly touted recruit, and I would say he's lived up to it for the most part, but he did struggle last year, and he could be better in pass pro. There are plenty of Ohio State running backs who were able to be productive last year when Henderson missed time with injury, or when he wasn't productive. So you have a couple different guys who might take away carries, including Mayan Williams, who was a pretty good running back for them as well. But Henderson is the guy who, I think he's the guy you wanted to build this offense around. He just needs to live up to that hype. He can be a 3-down back, but he's got to show better pass protection and add to his route tree. I'm excited to see what he does this year. If he can stay healthy, I think his stock can really get boosted back up to where maybe it was. And then Raheem Sanders out of Arkansas, been really good throughout his career. Rushed for 574 yards, 5 touchdowns, and then last year, 1,443 rushing yards and 10 touchdowns. And he led the Razorbacks to 8 wins. They got to 8 wins with their bowl game. Well-built frame for him, good contact balance, runs right through arm tackles, and he's got decent vision and quickness. He's not the most elusive, and he prefers to use his power, and he lacks breakaway speed. But I think he's a very good running back. I think he's a guy who, if you're playing Arkansas this year in college football, get ready for KJ Jefferson coming at you from the quarterback position with his big build, and then Raheem Sanders. They can wear teams down if both those guys are healthy. Excited to see what he can do in this season in the SEC. He's going to be one of the best returning players in the SEC. So we'll see what he can do, and I think he's a guy who could end up being a top 3, top 2 running back selected in this draft class. Will Shipley for Clemson. He's a guy who the offense has not been what Clemson would have wanted the last couple of years, and a lot of the focus has been on stopping Will Shipley, and he's done well despite that. So 729 yards as a freshman, 11 touchdowns. Sophomore year, 1,182 rushing yards, 15 touchdowns. He's shown to be good size. He has good size and speed for the position. He can catch, and he can be good short yardage back with his contact balance. I think he needs to work on his pass pro, and he sometimes can just kind of like fail to see where the pressure's coming from. But he's a very good college football player. I think he can be a pretty good pro as well. I want to see how he does if the offense opens up under Cade Klubnik this year. I want to see how he does. He could have a really big season. All right, some other guys we're going to get to a little bit quicker than the other guys here. Trey Benson out of Florida State. He started his career at Oregon, transferred from Florida State, was a part of a 3-headed running back attack last year, but he'll probably get more of the rushing yards this year, rushing attempts this year. 990 rushing yards last year. Florida State had that big season, 9-3 for the regular season. A lot of guys coming back, so there's a lot of expectations there. Let's see if he can help this team out because he's a very talented running back. Marshawn Lloyd goes from one USC to the other. South Carolina transfers over to USC and trying to help the Trojans. He averaged 5 yards per carry in the SEC and that wide open USC offense attack. Let's see how he can do. I'm excited to see what he can do. I don't know if he can really advance beyond being like a mid-round pick, but the offense you want to be in is probably USC's this year. Jace McClellan, it is his turn to take over the Alabama backfield. He's gotten plenty of experience over the last couple of years, but this is his time to shine. I'm excited to see what he can do carrying the load. And then, as mentioned a couple minutes ago, Mayan Williams. He's a tough runner, man. He really fills in well when Travion Henderson is out. They have a really good 1-2 punch at running back because of that. They have some guys behind them that are also pretty good. But I think Mayan Williams has a chance to do pretty well, especially if Henderson ends up getting banged up again. All right, so let me know what you think of these prospects down in the comments below. There's a lot of guys to watch in college football. Let me know if there's anyone I missed or anyone you wanted to see on the list in the comments below. We're going to be going through all the positions for the 2024 NFL Draft and players to watch for this summer. For now, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.